And so growing up, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing. So if everybody's doing A, I'm gonna zigzag and I'm gonna do B, because why do that? The only way I'm gonna be able to step out and be successful and get some traction is if I shake the game up a little bit. So I was thinking, what the heck am I doing sitting at a day job where I can be creating my own thing, creating my own vision, and just taking over the world kind of thing. And I don't have to answer to nobody, and the world is mine. Like, I'm thinking like the world is mine.
Hello, Striving Grinders. We are on the way to where, Kevin?
Downtown San Diego. It's my friend Alex. He owns a company called Spear, and he has this cool little event set up where he's been working over the past few weeks with young high school entrepreneurs, and they're all like working together in groups, and they're going to be pitching us today. And so I'll be on a panelist of a few judges, and we'll be judging their pitch, and then I'll also be teaching them the importance and the value of branding and how it separates them from the competition. So it should be pretty cool.
Boom! Stay tuned. We out here.
Oh yeah, we're out here.
We out here. Check out the students. It's gonna be so much fun.
I know, this is a pretty dope concept. It's pretty cool.
Are you excited?
I am.
Are you nervous?
I'm not. It's about to be fun. This is my playground. Like, I love talking to you. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is gonna be so much fun. I'm excited. Say hi, everybody. Hey. Say hi, everyone.
Hi. What up?
What up?
Introduction to our mentor panel. And I want to go through and just give you a little quick sense of who is sitting here with you, a little bit about what their journey has been. So we're going to keep it to 5 minutes per person to just talk about your journey as an entrepreneur, as a creator, what that was like, maybe some of the challenges you faced on the road that you've taken. Got Kevin, and Kevin's a powerhouse, and he's really stepping into it in a huge way now. I think we met about a year ago.
Year and a half
Ago at Life on Fire.
Yeah.
Right? And at that time, I think you were still working
The day job,
right?
Yeah.
But I've watched magic happen in the last 12 months from what Kevin and his amazing wife Devona has been able to do with their agency STRIVENGRIND. They do branding, they create some amazing brands. They've been responsible for branding some top celebrities and influencers. So yeah, a little bit about your journey and highlights that you'd like to share.
Sweet. So first off, I want to say you guys have like a good 10 years head start on me. Because when I was in high school, I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was until I was like a sophomore year or so in college. And so, growing up, I would say I pretty much had a decent, upbringing, if you will. My dad was a VP of a bank. My mom was a clerk or whatnot. And I always knew that I wanted to be great at something. I played sports growing up. And then I was like, hey, I'm only 5'10". I'm not going to go to the NBA. That's why I played most of my childhood. I didn't start like lifting weights until after the fact. Now people think I played football. I'm like, yo, if only 10 years ago I was lifting weights, I would have played football. But that wasn't the case. So I'm like, all right, what is it that I can do where I can make a lot of money and I can be very successful? And at this time, I was already dating my wife, Devona. And it's crazy because now we're coming up on our 10-year reunion. Or not, why am I saying reunion? 10-year anniversary, right? And high school reunion at the same time. But it's really dope because she was 15 at the time and I was 17. And at 17, we had already started sharing bank accounts. Nobody was even thinking about that. And so growing up, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing. So if everybody's doing A, I'm gonna zigzag and I'm gonna do B, because why do that? The only way I'm gonna be able to step out and be successful and get some traction is if I shake the game up a little bit. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go into technology. There's not a lot of black people in technology, so I'm like, check, maybe I'll stand out there. And then I'm like, okay, cool, there's a lot of money there. and there's a lot of opportunities there. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I can do to succeed. While in college, I got 2 professional IT certifications. I was part of 2 business professional organizations. And then from that point, I'm like, yo, if I don't come out of school making at least $65,000 to $80,000 a year, like something's wrong with me. I didn't even have a strong GPA at that time. And so when I'm thinking about it, I applied to the top 500 corporate or Fortune 500 companies' websites. I go to every single one. And I look for what you call an information technology leadership development program. These programs are 2-year programs where you're pretty much a management position in these big corporations. You're leading people, managing people who's like 20 years your senior. And I'm like, yo, I gotta get into that. And so what I did was I went to every single Fortune 500 company website. I applied to as many as I could, and I landed a big job. Came out of school making about $70,000 a year. At this time, we're living in Virginia. We moved from Virginia to Pittsburgh, leave everything we know. Now I got my wife on my side, so it's just us against the world. And I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. My parents was like, yo, Kev, you need to take this corporate route. I'm over here like, dude, I want to be a millionaire. Google research, millionaire. How can I be rich? How can I make a lot of money? Right? Like that was my goal at the time. That was the thing that was driving me, right? That's why I spent 12 to 15 years anyways in grade school just so I can get this job. So I picked up a book called Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Rich Dad Poor Dad book validated the reason why I was thinking, what the heck am I doing sitting at a day job where I can be creating my own thing, creating my own vision, and just taking over the world kind of thing. And I don't have to answer to nobody, and the world is mine. Like I'm thinking like the world is mine kind of thing. So at the time, listening to podcasts, I'm reading books, I'm learning. Then I create this thing called STRIVENGRIND. And at the time, it still does stand for Strive to Achieve Greatness and Grind to Get There. And it was supposed to be a lifestyle brand and movement for anybody who wanted to achieve greatness. And at the time, we was like, hey, let's create this cool thing. We were doing events. We had brand ambassadors and sponsored athletes from all over the country. We were doing all this cool stuff, but we had a clothing line, but we wasn't making any money. And then there came up an opportunity for me to go from the day job so we went from Pittsburgh to Boston at the same day job, moved from Boston to California. I saw that opportunity. We took it. I said, you know what? My wife and I said, we're gonna crush it in entrepreneurship. Even if we gotta blast our current idea, we're gonna blast our current idea, we're gonna create something, and we're gonna be massively successful. So we created this really dope brand, yet we weren't making any money off of it. I didn't know sales, I didn't know marketing, I didn't know any of this stuff, so I had to learn it. And essentially, we ended up scratching everything we once had before and created this branding and creative boutique. We invested so much money into hiring a coach because we realized we couldn't do it ourselves. So we hired somebody to show us the way. So we did that. At that time, I only knew one millionaire in my whole life. Freaking sad, right? It's pitiable, or it's pitiful. And so now, most of my friends are either making multiple 6 figures in their businesses or they're multi-millionaires. And so I had to up-level my network, the people I was surrounding myself with. I had to up-level my game. I said, look, we're going to create the best branding company in the whole country. We're going to be creating memorable, disruptive, and badass brands for entrepreneurs because we realize that a lot of entrepreneurs fail because they aren't clear on their message. They can't stand out from the competition because they're so busy copying what everybody else is doing, right? That pisses us off like no other. And the fact that we're gonna be able to help them be great. So what happened is we reached out to the top people in the industry. We showed them our work. We said, hey, let's work together. They bought in, and we were able to, within less than a year's time, get a 6-figure company, build it up to 6 figures in revenue within such short period of time because we jumped off the cliff and we took those big risks. So that's where we are now. We're a branding and creative company. We're creating memorable, disruptive, and badass brands. And we specialize in being unique. We specialize in being different and standing out from the competition.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Point of like, there are these opportunities in life, and if you take them, it means leaving something behind in order to embrace something new. And it's always scary, but if you know that you're heading in the right direction, it's a great thing to do.
Sure. One of my friends used you guys. I think Nyana raised the bar.
Oh yeah, Nyana.
Yes, Nyana's a homie.
So, what bold team would like to lead off and go first? Dozo Dapper.
Oh, he stood up and everything.
You're stood.
So my company is Parallel Web Design. Capital $300 is needed. This will pay for our own website and our own hosting, so people can contact us through the web and find us, as well as purchase the first few hosting websites and domains for our clients, so they can have all their needs and necessities to grow the business. And this is Parallel Web Design.
This is a new thing for most of you. So everyone who is here gets $100 for their business.
What?
Congratulations. However, this was a competition, and in a competition, the winners take more than everybody else. So the prize through the generous contributions, both with the panel and also through some money we have within Spear for you guys, is the following. Winning team gets an additional $250 for first place for funding. Second team gets an additional $150, and third place gets an additional $100. In addition to that, all top 3 teams, through the generous offer of Strive and Grind, you're going to get a 1-hour consultation with Kevin or Devana or both, I don't know, but they're going to help you get your branding right, get your messaging on point, and they're going to give you an hour of their time, which is so valuable. So I'm so excited for that. And in first place, with 85.5 total points, it's you. Hey, Ariel. What? I've watched you grow up today in such a really cool way, each of you. The way you speak literally evolved in the last 3-4 hours. I've never heard you guys speak like you spoke on stage today, and it was really cool. Maybe you guys noticed that for yourselves, how more articulate you felt. It was really remarkable. And these are crazy times that we live in. And just remember that this supportive community is how everything in the world happens. It's through us coming together. It's through these type of experiences. Nobody does it alone. It takes a tribe, it takes a group, and that's part of what's so special about this community that we're building. And there's so much fear right now, there's so much uncertainty about the future that I think events and experiences like this is what, to me, gives me such a hope and such a enthusiasm for a bright future. And thank you all for playing your part in co-creating that with me. And I love you guys, each and every one of you. Thank you.
I love you too, Mr. Alex.